Hey everybody, hi, Dr. Ken Muich, Fibromyalgia Wellness Center, and welcome to our Monday afternoon little live video on fibromyalgia and related subjects. And what we're going to be talking sometimes we have problems with connections. I hope everything is okay. But we're taking apart our fibromyalgia program. And so last time we were talking about, again, excess amounts of phosphate and calcium by research has been found. Why is that important? Because it affects the mitochondria. The mitochondria actually are your ever-ready batteries in your body. There's a number of different names for them, so forth and so on, but I always call them ever-ready batteries because they are what keep us going. So it actually takes oxygen and food or glucose and turns it into energy in the form of something called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Now, it goes through the mitochondria, produces mitochondria ATP for your energy. It involves everything: your liver, your heart, your skin, your brain, your muscles, everything. And it's really important because if you don't have mitochondria producing ATP, you will not be alive. Yeah, that's excuse me. You will not be alive. You need mitochondria for your body to produce energy so that it goes, like the batteries in a car, okay? Now, the problem that we found is that excess amounts of phosphate and calcium, this is research, excess phosphates and calcium are really the primary, shall we say, irritants that cause the fibromyalgia reactions. Phosphate is a negative element, and so it has to balance with something else, and so it pulls calcium out of bones and teeth so that they work together. Now, there's so much phosphate that the mitochondria can't produce enough ATP, so you have an energy problem of excesses. In other words, there's so much it can't produce what the body actually needs. The other thing is that the adenosine triphosphate with the phosphate causes the calcium to trigger muscle contractions. So it's very, very interesting, and I'm just reviewing a little bit why certain things are happening. But the interesting thing is that the muscles are constantly firing these the calcium actually firing the muscle contractions like a trigger. And so that's why you have an energy problem. That's why you don't get deep REM sleep, because your muscles are constantly in a state of activity. And without deep REM sleep, your body doesn't heal properly. So all of these things are extremely important. It can cause muscle weakness and fatigue. If you have fibromyalgia, does that sound familiar? Muscle fatigue and weakness and so forth. Also pain, because if your muscles are constantly in a state of activity, your body never really relaxes. And of course, sleep, oh, for goodness. I can't think of any fibromyalgia patient that comes in that doesn't have a sleep problem, so to speak. So let's get to the mitochondria itself. So these mitochondria, well, what are they? Well, they're part of a cell. Actually, there's trillions of them. They're throughout all of your cells in your body except for the bacterial cells. Yes, you have them in your body. And also red blood cells. They don't have any mitochondria. Otherwise, all the rest of the cells in your body have mitochondria that produces ATP. Now, it varies from one body part to another, but the most important ones I've already mentioned. You're going to be top heavy in mitochondrial production in the brain, in the liver, in the heart, muscles. All of those aspects are key elements as far as your body is concerned. Now, it's interesting because mitochondria, you would think, produce only good things. But mitochondria also produces something called free radicals as a byproduct. Very, very interesting. Free radicals are what cause disease, right? It can cause all sorts of health problems. They can cause cellular damage, not only various cells, but also to the mitochondrial membrane itself. So it might not be able to produce any ATP or enough of it. So this membrane problem, or the free radical problem, is called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress. And you may have read this or heard about this and so forth. So that's the basis behind it. The mitochondria are in effect stressed because of the free radicals that it produces itself. Oh my goodness, so what are we going to do? Well, if you have oxidative stress, some of the side effects are low energy, of course, and other health problems in itself. So if you already have fibromyalgia, you probably have some form of oxidative stress because what your body is going through. How are we going to combat this? Well, the other thing that mitochondria produce, other than adenosine triphosphate, believe it or not, it produces antioxidants. And now antioxidants neutralize free radicals. I always joke. They're like and if you've been on this earth long enough, if you ever played Pac-Man on the machines, that was one machine. That was one game I really loved. I played. Well, goes in different directions, so forth, and eats all the bad guys, and tries to stay away from all the other bad guys, so it's not eating itself. Well, antioxidants actually neutralize the free radicals. So what's the deal? So if one produces free radicals, but mitochondria still produce antioxidants, so that should neutralize everything. Correct? You are correct. While you are young and you're healthy. However, as we mature, I always like to use the mature word instead of the age or old word. As we mature, as we age, the mitochondria, for a variety of reasons, because of maybe age itself, accidents, injuries, illnesses, all the different things add up. The mitochondria don't produce as much ATP. If you notice, as you're getting a little older, it takes a little bit longer maybe to get out of bed, maybe to do certain jobs and so forth. Part of them is the age aspect. It's not producing as much energy. But the other thing that it's not producing is that it's not producing enough adenosine triphosphate to keep up with your age itself. Add that to your existing conditions possibly that you have, fibromyalgia, for example, and you know, as I've mentioned over and over again, if you have fibromyalgia, you have other conditions. You have other health conditions. I have never met since 1990, since I started working with fibromyalgia patients, any fibromyalgia patient that just has fibromyalgia. You have other conditions, and I've gone through those. There's 15 different ones, everything from osteoarthritis to rheumatoid arthritis to diabetes to lupus to just about you name it, hypoglycemia, hypothyroidism, so forth and so on, a variety of them. And their symptoms mimic fibromyalgia, and that's what makes it, again, so difficult for doctors to diagnose fibromyalgia, because it looks like all these other conditions, even though all of your tests, all of your objective tests come back negative. So what are you going to do about this? Well, there are a few things that you have to take into consideration. There are certain things that do fight this aging, this problem as far as free radicals or oxidative stress and so forth that you can do. And with this, of course, with the lower energy levels, and it takes longer, by the way, for you to, as you probably know, to take care of any injuries that you have or illnesses. I always say a personal injury case for a fibromyalgia patient, or just a patient that is maturing, shall we say. The normal is anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks for an automobile accident. You've been traumatized. However, for someone who is maturing age, especially fibromyalgia patients, instead of the maybe 3 months, we're talking 6-8 months, which is not very acceptable to most, shall we say, lawyers on the other side or insurance companies, but it's a fact. It just takes longer for a mature individual that has pre-existing conditions, especially, to heal, and you may never ever get back to a state of normalcy as you had prior to that accident. We cannot reverse aging, but we can do a lot of things to at least get you as close as we can to what you were prior to your accident, if you go to the correct people like myself that knows what they're doing, rather than just somebody who puts hot packs on your, or ice or whatever else. It involves a lot of other things. So anyway, from this, you can have a lot of serious health conditions that lead to excess aging and so forth, and it can impact the quality of life. So what are you going to do about it? Well, we're going to talk about it in more detail, but there are certain antioxidants that are produced by your body, believe it or not. And the one is glutathione, and the other one is SOD, superoxide dismutase. So glutathione and superoxide dismutase. Now, they're both produced by the body. But, as I mentioned to you, they are stressed themselves by aging and all the other illnesses and accidents and so forth that you have. Your body can only send out so much to take care of each an individual item in your body that develops as we start to mature and age. But there are things that you can bulk these things up with to make you healthier and happier and have a good quality of life. And so we're going to be talking about those in more detail the next time. Another thing that we're going to be talking about is brain fog. Since we've been talking about fatigue so much, that's very, very common with fibromyalgia patients. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about something called the diet to save your life. So we're taking apart the fibromyalgia program to explain to you why we're doing certain things the way we're doing and the research behind it. This is research valid. This is not, just some things we just kind of thrown together and say, well, let's put this together and so forth. Just as an aside, I'm getting more and more herbal suggested remedies for fibromyalgia patients. Sure, if you want your symptoms to be gone or reduced, okay, you can look into that if you'd like. I mean, I'm not going to say that ours is the only program, but ours is the only program that deals with your condition, not the symptoms. And if you take care of the condition, the symptoms that are affecting you, along with your other conditions that you have, will also reduce and probably go away. We've seen that over decades working with patients. So another one that came on today, an acupuncturist with a lady that came in with fibromyalgia, but she also had back problems and sciatic, and so he treated her with acupuncture. I treat with acupuncture for the symptomatic control of many conditions, but and you'll reduce the symptoms of many of the fibromyalgia aspects that you have, but they're not going to go away. Okay, whereas again, our conditional treatment actually takes care of that. So I'm not adverse to any other conditions or any other treatments, so forth and so on, as long as they are valid, proof-wise, they've researched from independent studies and sources. The only thing is that many of these things just kind of all of a sudden come out because somebody had a great idea. I don't want to throw your money away, something that they get frustrated with later. Any questions, any comments, anything? Look under the phone number 480-948-4955, 480-948-4955, or you can email me, dcken2000@cs.com. D as in dog, C as in cat, Ken, K-E-N, the number 2000, that's 2000, at C as in cat, S as in Sam.com. And I'll get back to you and we can communicate that way. Or you can look at the Fibromyalgia Wellness Center website and take a look at many of the blogs that I've done and many of the people that we've gone through. We've had videos on them and the success that we've had. Again, next time we're going to go into more detail as far as antioxidants, the glutathione and SOD, and also the fibrofog and the diet to save your life, since we are taking apart our fibromyalgia program to answer your questions. Thank you very, very much. Look forward to seeing you next Monday, 12:30 p.m., Mondays, Arizona time. Everybody have a wonderful week. Arizona, it's 110. I don't care if it's humid or not. We're dry out here, but 110 is 110. It'll cook your brains. So it is hot. Anyway, everybody enjoy. Have a safe week. Look forward to seeing you next week. And don't be afraid to ask questions as we go through. Bye-bye now.